No, seriously.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm a little disgusted with myself, but go listen to Bachelor Happy Hour, the best Bachelor recap show there is.
You can tell how much we don't care about this show anymore. Stop listening to us. Go over to the Bachelor Happy Hour. I honestly hate my job.
Hi, hello, and welcome to another brand spanking new episode of another Bachelor podcast. My name is Dylan. I'm saddled up next to one real Nicholas Davis.
What's going on, everybody?
Pat, producer of the podcast, is over there behind my glasses.
Hi, everybody. How are you?
Sounding? Are we sounding okay?
My daughter comes in here. I'll just openly admit that. And I think she screws around with some of the buttons.
Something sounds weird.
Something sounds weird.
Sounds weird, right? Sounds like an infant's been fucking around with our soundboard or something like that.
She's a toddler.
Is she?
Yeah.
Well, then no excuse.
Yeah, no excuse. Just
And
parent
she's probably
better.
been sucking on this microphone because it smells like sticky baby.
Okay, so how are we doing?
I think we're doing all right. It's been a long week. I'm sorry this is coming out late.
Yeah, we've had a hell of a week. We had to I don't want to say we had to go see Corey Feldman at the Whiskey a Go-Go, bringing down the house that Corey built. Nick had to confront a man who had stolen upwards of $200 for him, by the end of, in summation, all that money Nick had given him, and he needed to get that back.
Hopefully our baby birds will keep it under wraps, but if it ever comes out that I didn't actually buy that Love Let 2.1 box set, I'm going to have some explaining to do.
Yeah, so check out our recap of that at patreon.com/another podcast network coming soon. Also, Love is Blind is the greatest reality show we've ever done. Go over there, and by there I mean patreon.com/another podcast network, and check it out if you want to hear us recap that show, which is better than this one.
It is going to be on Patreon to recap?
Yeah.
Of Corey?
Oh, will it be?
I don't know.
I don't make those decisions.
I feel like we were only doing one for ABS today, right?
Yeah, no. I'm saying in the future the Corey Feldman
okay.
content will be on Patreon. I was just thinking out loud. I mean, we don't necessarily need to do that.
The vlog I'm putting out for free.
Okay, that's
I gave
fine.
a giant plug for it on Cats After Dark. It was actually like half an hour of our conversation. I said
wow.
Another podcast network, YouTube.
Okay, so check us out on YouTube, and check Nick out on Cats After Dark. Guys, I am hot. I got here 25 minutes late because my Uber driver said there was traffic on Sunset Boulevard. If there is traffic, then use a different road, right? Mm-hmm. There are so many roads that get off Sunset. You just go around all these lovely hills and stuff like that. Use Waze. Don't be a fucking pig. Don't make me a half hour late to recording. And then we've got Alfred Coffee, 7 minutes late and ticking up, all under the evil umbrella of Uber in San Francisco. Go fuck yourself. But also, this episode was terrible, and that's another reason why I'm hot. So let's get into general thoughts. Do I sound like an asshole? Is that unreasonable?
You sound upset.
I think your ire should be focused on Uber and not your driver, who probably was stuck in traffic, and then you were lied to by the app about how long it would take for him to get to you.
Or your job.
Make
here.
a left. Make a right. Don't just sit there on Sunset.
And I don't think you're an asshole for your assessment of this episode, but I vehemently disagree. I actually enjoyed it. I'm amazed that the momentum this season is keeping up. This is usually the lull right before hometowns, but their ability to have two people pitted against each other at a constant rate.
Episode after episode.
Is keeping me engaged. And the turn from babyface to heel, from heel to babyface.
Right.
It's been quite the journey for me. I've enjoyed it. 80 knots.
Yeah, I'll amend that a little bit because while I do appreciate that we do have unprecedented what was the word I just said? Unprecedented 1v1s every single episode, which is truly bizarre, and I appreciate you bringing that up. The crummy part, though, is that there are literally entire swaths of these episodes that are just not fit for air. And I'm not talking about, there's a lot of footage that didn't make the The Cut. I mean, there are entire segments of this show that are dedicated to going on national television that just aren't good enough. There wasn't a date that lasted more than 1 minute and 45 seconds of airtime. Clayton continues to be Quasimodo. I'm just not a huge fan, but it is a good season. Just a little bit of a lull, and we've got hometowns next week. So I'm gonna cool down. I'm excited to talk about the episode.
I hope we do get those hometowns because you got to see the filthy, yucky normies in their own environment. I can't have them.
Oh, right, coming to a Ramada.
Yeah, not a Ramada Inn.
40 pots, Pat.
Oh, okay. I'll just confess. I have no actual memory of the episode itself, which may be difficult for it being my job to recap it.
You told me that you watched it on Monday, and that concerned me greatly.
Right.
Yeah.
And Dylan, to your point, I often question myself that I'm still recapping a show about this man and his journey.
Right.
In real life, I wouldn't spend 2 minutes talking to him.
Right.
But thus, I'm here. Oh, I remember they did the Freud thing, I think, this episode. So hopefully when you guys talk about it, it'll jar my memory. Zero nuts.
Okay, let's get into it. So, guys and girls, ladies and gents. Last we left off, there were a bunch of emotional children and an old Italian lady complaining about Sarah. Gabagool is still at the forefront of these episodes, and I'm just not a fan. Now, we've had Sarah... We had her kind of coming out on top last week, and I think there's a palpable feeling that she's a little bit high on her own supply. She says, "Get me a vase, you can book your ticket home." One word, ew. Mm-hmm. One word, ew.
Well, Sarah, are you talking about this? Is the part where I guess she returns to the apartment and she does like that 48 laws of power speech to try and get the rat to give itself up?
Chilling.
Can you imagine being in a fight with her as her boyfriend? She's scary. That's scary stuff.
We'll learn this episode that Sarah is well versed in mental warfare and the tactics and weaponry needed to really take someone down, but she's not that well trained a swordsman. It becomes rather obvious. You can see even Clayton realizes what she's doing, and Clayton is neurodivergent. So.
Mental warfare is complex, Dylan.
Very complex.
Has many levels.
Yes.
And she only got like 2 down.
I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I think she did it incredible, and she is a swordsman, but she was uncovered by one of the greatest Freudian psychoanalysis.
Right.
All right.
In Austria.
In Austria.
Yeah.
So, the birthplace. So She would have gotten away with it scot-free if it wasn't for those meddling psychoanalysis.
Right. Maybe she is good at Bushido.
Before the actually no, this was after.
Okay, so she walks back in with the rose and says, who tried to shade me? Now, Gabagool, being a Jersey girl, I thought she was going to pick the vase up from behind her and just smash it over her fucking head. But she remains pretty quiet and then does eventually speak up. Her head moves back and forth quite a bit, and she delivers the justification that makes us sick every single time we hear it. She did what she did to protect a guy who does not know her name.
And has yet to ask her on a date, even.
Yeah.
But it was for him. She's looking out for him.
And if you watch the video, you'll see Nick tenderly pulling a hair of my beloved cat Dot out of my chin. Yeah.
She also frames it as she needs to speak her truth. That is one of those what do you call that, a phrase or something these days?
Yeah, it's chuggy.
Can we retire that?
Yeah.
Please, for the love of God, please.
Because who gives a fuck about your truth? It's so unimportant and so not okay to bring up 90% of the time in polite society.
And to be honest, I don't even think Mara in this case spoke her truth. This was a prime example of not keeping the same energy. She was talking all tough, but then she gets in front of Sarah and she's like, well, I was just saying that I think blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And then even before Sarah came in, and I did want to say this, I got confused about the order,
but
before Sarah came in, Mara was complaining about that it wasn't fair that other girls have gotten two one-on-ones, and she hasn't even gotten a single one. And I think she's confusing equality of outcome with equality of opportunity, because they all started from 0, all right, and you just have not caught the eye of Clayton. So don't hate the player, hate the game.
Hate the game, Gabagool. So we got to get to the next day, but before we do, we need to talk about the most important sponsor of this show, bar none, far and away. Is that far and away? My brain is just mush right now. But that is because I did not take my Magic Mind this morning. Guys, Magic Mind is the anti-procrastination elixir. You know it very well. It's filled with matcha, lion's mane, echinacea, and 9 other cool things that will make your brain hum in a quiet Zen focus.
And if anybody's confused, I actually just poured out this actual Celsius
Yeah.
and filled it with Magic Mind.
Yeah, and he does it in front of the merchants every single time, and someone has to mop it up. But Nick's trying to get the message out there. Stop peddling this shit. It's not good for people. Get Magic Mind at magicmind.co. Enter in promo code Clayton.
Now, Dylan,
25% off.
I have mixed feelings about this sponsor because while they do pay us and it seems like the campaign's going well, I lost my second nanny to Magic Mind this week. Carmen.
Yeah.
Turns out she was a referral from Lupita, who drove off in a Ferrari.
Immediately, you couldn't trust it, right?
Carmen just gave her notice yesterday.
Yeah.
She had some Magic Mind.
Yeah.
She's moving to New York. She's going to be a stockbroker.
Right.
That's what this stuff does.
Yeah.
I'm hurting myself by having this in the house.
Yeah,
I
and-
can't keep anybody employed because it escalates their brain levels to another level where they don't want to work for me anymore because they have bigger aspirations than taking care of Elliot.
Suddenly, Carmen has become a war profiteer, seeing these charts and graphs like Zach Galifianakis when he goes to play blackjack in Hangover, and she's just seeing it all unfold before her eyes because of just 3-4 days of Magic.
I liken it to the film Limitless. I think that's what this Magic Mind
Look
is
at this.
doing.
Hello.
I am living near the front gate.
Oh, I see him right there. Hi, how you
okay,
doing?
Great. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good. Okay, thank you.
Have a great day.
Thanks. What?
It's a very hot day, so
Oh, I'll come grab it. I don't want that to melt. Thank you very much, Daya.
you're welcome.
Okay, bye.
Have a nice day.
You too. Sweetheart, but we don't need the call. Just lay the coffee.
Oh,
there.
come on. What if
he's 10 minutes late? Okay.
All
You didn't
right,
want
lay
to
off
leave
the
it in
man.
the heat.
Can you believe this?
That's such good customer service.
No,
you
it's
believe
not.
this?
It's not good customer service. Just don't bother me. Just put the coffee
Well, I
down.
feel bad
I'm just
for him. He's still
jaded
there.
with Uber right now. I don't like Uber.
Dylan,
It's not Daya's fault.
go get your coffee. The gentleman is still waiting there.
Why?
He's taking
Oh, no,
a picture
he's
of
taking
it.
a picture. Don't worry about it.
I want to.
All right. Oh God, I'm hot today. I got a negative frequency right now.
What's going on with
Well,
you?
I almost threw up in the back of an Uber.
Did you eat breakfast?
I had, I have a Kachava shake, but
See the size of that edible he took?
Hopefully it settles him down a little bit. He's hot.
oh no, I didn't take that edible. Actually, I threw it across the room, one fly, straight into Nick's mouth.
It was pretty sick. It was
Very,
a good omen
very
for a
cool.
recording.
Oh, you're going to be
Yeah.
great for PMC.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, check out PMZ at patreon.com/another podcast network. So we have to get to the next day. Immediately move to the nighttime because, again, there is no footage of what happens today. They didn't plan anything out. Don't worry about that because the cocktail ceremony kicks off with a wish as old as time. Hopefully, we'll have no drama tonight. Oh, child. Oh, child. You know that's not going to happen. Clayton walks in looking like a fucking Yankee candle and lifts a glass to drivel, and then he grabs Serene. Now, Clayton sits down and really tries to show Serene that he likes her, and he does so by commemorating the massacre of those little innocent fays on that horrible night by shoving a bunch of Christmas lights in mason jars. I mean, we covered it extensively last week. She is a genocidal maniac.
Well, let me set the table a little bit better the way you just did because he puts fireflies in there. I get they light it up. And,
I feel like he described it.
the last time I put this to the comments.
Let him finish.
Yeah.
I think he described it perfectly.
Perfectly,
And,
yeah.
and like it's like if you get lost in what like the poetry of what he's saying, then
Right.
you may not be able to
But
follow.
a lot of
Right,
people don't
right,
watch
right.
the show, Nick, and they just listen to us.
But if you listen to
But-
the
but-
words that he said, he described it
Yeah,
perfectly.
and also,
who
who
cares?
cares?
May I continue? What Dylan was laying down there was after Clayton grabs Serene, he wants to discuss her dead cousin again because they were so close, but she isn't sure how she died. So Clayton pulls out this jar of fireflies, which I think PETA would have a problem with because they're going to die in there. They'll suffocate or something like that. And he says, your cousin is now here with us. And how'd she die again? And that's when Mickey yelled. He said, she died in a a bungee jumping accident, Mexico, you piece of shit. Don't ask her anything.
Okay, so I see what happened here.
And your description was funny.
Right.
Way more inaccurate than his, but very funny.
Right.
I thought it was
So what
right
happened,
on point.
What happened here is that we
had a fire pit.
were in danger of moving on, and you needed to get that out.
I will just say
Now, Dylan, let me set this up a little bit better than you did.
Okay. Here's my assessment. I liked yours. Yours was good. You brought up the point about how Clayton brought up the cousin, and it was definitely kind of try to draw more details and see how much he knew her. So that's a good point. But Arizona missions, those weren't fireflies. They were Christmas lights. They weren't real.
Oh, they
bugs.
were. I would see. I don't remember anything.
Patrick, they were static lights.
They were static lights, and I can't imagine those Christmas lights satisfied Serene's bloodthirst.
Let me explain myself.
It's like methadone.
Yeah.
I watch 3 hours of television on Monday nights to be prepared for this show. That was probably at about 10 o'clock at night, and that means I'm about a bottle and a half of Pinot.
Use the
I was
bottles
seeing
as a
fireflies.
unit of measurement. Right.
That's how drunk I was.
Right.
You were like that one singer from Owatonna, Minnesota, deep cut, but is the song Fireflies.
Exactly like that. So Serene is melting. She's found someone who does not care about the horrors that she committed. So we will move on now to Susie. I'll get to Susie later, but I mean, her and him, I mean, it's just two loaves of Wonder Bread. It's the most just, it's a needle freezer. A needle freezer. Yeah, that's, you know how the needle, there's needle movers, and then they stop the needle, they freeze it.
nice, gotcha, yeah.
He does okay with Teddy too, and he also does well with Rachel, who continues to whisper a lot and lick her lips. She sounds like she's got a stoma, but she doesn't. She just talks like that.
Now this I believe is a real term, whereas you made up, and I like needle freezer.
Yes.
What's stoma?
I think stoma is when you got that hole in your throat.
Oh, that White Claw gives me that.
Right.
Don't smoke, kids.
Sexy stoma. Yeah. All right. So at one point he says tracheotomy.
That's the procedure, not the hole.
The hole is the... All right. So at one point he says the night is going too good. Oh, child, we know what's going to happen now. Gabagool. Grab Sarah, and now we're going full Jersey.
Grab Sarah.
Yeah. So you told me, this is what she says. She says, you told me that what I said came from a place of desperation, and I resented that. Your confidence is cute, but you've transformed into kind of a sloppy bitch. So cut it the fuck out. I mean...
Incredible recap, and it was super intense by Mara. I was like kind of scared of it. She did bring the energy that she had before that she didn't keep earlier,
right.
But none of it really applied to me what Sarah had been doing. I mean, she was kind of turning into like, I guess the overconfidence, but she wasn't getting sloppy at all. Sarah's clinically precise in her destruction.
Mental
of these other women right now.
Bushido. So this could seem like it kind of came out of nowhere because once again, babyface heel, you know, we haven't really seen Sarah be a monster to the other girls because there have been very, very loud monsters throughout the entire season. We've had Shanae, we had the girl who face pushed kids so she could go straddle Clay. And we've had louder villains, but it would seem as though Sarah has been this kind of bubbling muck of a human being in the house this entire time.
It's like all the girls just have their swords out and they corner one person in the house and they point them at it.
Right.
But then when that person dies, they all decide and at the same time point their swords at a new person.
Yes.
And it is now Sarah.
Yeah, maybe it's a new tactic from Mickey, actually.
Keep it interesting.
So, Serene says from this point out, everything is going to be like shocking. So, it's about time we get to the rose ceremony. But before we do, let's take a quick break to hear a word from our sponsors. Guys, maybe I'm not feeling too hot this morning because I didn't have a delicious, nutritious meal this morning. I'm feeling low, you know. And if I had HelloFresh stocked in my refrigerator, maybe I wouldn't have gotten upset at Daya for calling me and letting me know that the coffee was going to melt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you order out too much, dude.
No. You order out too much.
No. My wife does. But Green Chef does help us solve that problem.
HelloFresh helps us solve that problem, you idiot.
Hold on, cut that.
HelloFresh.
Stop it. Cut that out. That can't even stay in there.
What'd you say?
I said Green Chef.
They're the same company, though.
Yeah.
Oh, there.
It's all good.
But Hello Chef has changed my life.
It's not Hello Chef, it's Hello Fresh. But what you're doing is combining.
Did anybody take their magic mind this morning?
You know, what you're doing is combining a portmanteau, so to speak, of Green Chef and Hello Fresh, which are the same company. Essentially, you can either order from either one of them. But guys, Hello Fresh, you'll get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store. Count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Guys, HelloFresh has fit and wholesome recipes for satisfying, nutritious meals that you can feel good about with 6 recipes per week to choose from, including low-calorie and carb-conscious options. Nick knows the thing about that. Or 2. HelloFresh offers the flexibility you need to easily customize your order, or in the app, easily change your delivery day, food preferences, and plan size, or skip a week whenever you need to. Guys, go to HelloFresh.com/Bachelor16 and use code Bachelor16 for up to 16 free gifts. What am I talking about? Go to HelloFresh.com/Bachelor16 and use code Bachelor16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. Again, guys, that's HelloFresh.com/Bachelor16. 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. So,
hey, I was going to call to action to help move some product here. You know how you like to hear Dylan talk about the food and stuff like that and critique it? You buy one of these kits, cook it up, post a picture of it. Dylan will, on this show, give his thoughts on your preparation of that meal.
100%. So, go there. Eat good food. We love you guys. We love HelloFresh. So.
And before we get to the next part we're going to talk about.
Yeah. And what part is that?
Just before we get to it. Let's talk about modern fertility. Not like how fertile people are presently, but the company, Modern Fertility.
Right.
I've always been a big fan of planning ahead. You guys know this. Scheduling trips a month in advance, plotting out my next career move, figuring out what I'm doing for dinner while I'm still eating breakfast. But I never thought much about planning for kids. Well, now I'm going to, okay? That's why Modern Fertility was created. It's an easy, affordable way to test your fertility hormones at home with a simple finger prick. I tried to do a joke about prick, and then I was like, I'm just going to read the copy.
Yeah.
Mailed in with a prepaid label, and you'll get your personalized results within 10 days. You'll get insight into your hormone levels, your ovarian reserve, aka how many eggs you have compared to other women your age, and other important fertility factors. Now, I know it may seem odd that I'm the one telling you about this, but believe me when I tell you, the results go deep into what every hormone means, and you can also talk one-on-one with a fertility nurse to review your results and options for next steps. Traditional testing with your doctor can cost over $1,000, but Modern Fertility gets you the same info at $159. Thank God for the internet, a fraction of the price. And if you go to modernfertility.com/bachelor, you can get $20 off your test.
So it's $130.
Yeah.
Nice. Let me tell you something, Nikki. I went through this. This isn't $1,000. To get all this information with that one little pinprick, that's like $5,000. To get that for $130, I wish my wife and I knew about this.
And
before.
there's life planning, and there's also body planning. Like, it's a very, very real thing. You know, Modern Fertility allots us the opportunity to prep every aspect of our life possible before we have children. It's a beautiful company, and you should support them if you're in the market for a human being that will ruin your life for a little while.
And now that I'm more informed about this product that I love, and I think all our
incredible
listeners
company.
The next time we do it, I feel like Pat should read it because he has real world experience.
I do, dude. I'm into this now. Trying to get a second kid, probably $40K, and that's not like on a credit card. That's out of pocket.
Yeah, I haven't even come close to that. I'm currently fearful I'll never find the woman I want to have children with. Right now, Modern Fertility is offering our listeners $20 off the test when you go to modernfertility.com/bachelor. That means your test will cost $139, as Pat alluded to earlier, instead of the hundreds or thousands it could cost at the doctor's office. Get $20 off your fertility test when you go to modernfertility.com/bachelor. That's modernfertility.com/bachelor.
We have got to get to our first rose ceremony of the evening, and that means our first roll call.
Yeah, really. I'm kind of over it. Let me just set this up. This is our 6th rose ceremony. There are 9 girls left. 3 already have roses. That would be Sarah, Rachel, and the girl that Clayton likes to play Atari with. I think that's Teddy. She looks like a child. All right, here's the roll call. Here's who gets a rose. Alabama Hannah 2.0. I think you guys call her Susie. Serene, I'd love to see her in Bachelor in Paradise. She's got a great body. Gabby, still here. Genevieve, and here's who's going home. Mara, Eliza. And Mara will be in Paradise and or eventually become a New Jersey housewife. Anyway, she's unstable.
12 pots?
Yeah, I mean, the
Yeah.
enthusiasm, I'm just going to knock it down to 0.
Oh,
Right.
whoa. That doesn't seem fair at all.
No, it is.
I mean, the lack of enthusiasm was like -90, and then -10 for saying Clayton, who's 28 years old, would be playing Atari, which came out in 1972.
It just makes no sense the way that what you did there. It just didn't make
Nintendo.
any fucking sense.
Close, getting
More
closer.
like, Dreamcast or PlayStation or N64.
Or like PlayStation 3. The man's 28 years old.
PS2, he was probably his first
Maybe his
system.
grandmother had a console.
So I just recently, we fixed something on our podcast host that now allows you to listen to all 201 episodes of another Bachelor podcast. For a little while, it was only the last 100. People were like, where's Ari's season? I want to listen to Ari's season. You guys were great. It's fixed now, and you can listen to all 201. And on it, why did I bring it up? Our number 3 episode was the unjust elimination of Haley What's-Her-Face. It was a
Yes.
very long, awesome title,
Right.
similar to that one Western. I'm getting lost in the weeds here. But
Yeah.
this was just an unjust elimination of Eliza. It's
Oh, wow.
criminal how little we saw of this woman. And I'm sure she made Clayton feel like an intellectual dwarf. She was the one that was born in Germany. She's bilingual. She's
Right.
absolutely gorgeous.
We got robbed.
And she got no airtime.
He's too stupid.
Justice for Eliza. I would hope we see her in Paradise, but she didn't get enough airtime to even like have a storyline. I miss her. I'm going to start following her.
That doesn't stop Mickey.
Okay.
Your fingernail could be shown in a scene and you make it on that beach when they get desperate enough.
Especially if they listen. We know they listen to us.
Hey, Nick, we only have 200 episodes of Bachelor.
201. I
I feel like we've done this 1,000 times.
And join us for the recap of why we're leaving our current distribution platform on another podcast show. Search it in iTunes or wherever you get your podcast. So, sayonara to Liza and Gabagool. Scar smiles down on Mufasa's dead Italian body. She lifts a glass to the future of Pride Rock. What am I doing? Okay, let's get to...
awesome analogies.
Let's get to Vienna, which hopefully isn't shelled by the end of this season. It's a stunning place that serves beer and glasses that are too big. I get too full, you know?
Yeah.
It's too much beer. So they arrive at the glamorously named Intercontinental. Do you have a TripAdvisor review?
No.
Okay. So it's the last day before the one-on-ones, and Clayton is now in full fuck you mode. He's giving but the last day before the hometowns, Clayton's in full, focusing on finding my eternal love, I should say. So he's giving second roses to the people that he likes, and he's just giving the finger to the rest of them. He selects Susie for the pretty woman date. Mm-hmm. They shop at a public shop, and then they head to a private shop owned by famous designer Eliva Shlabinski. What's her name? You guys have her name? Mm-mm. All right. Well,
I was going to say, though, this is like the dream date for one of these contestants. Because it almost it ensures that you're going to win.
It's the Pretty Woman date, but more dignified because you're not a prostitute.
Yeah, but by the way, when he told her, my wife went as Pretty Woman when she was 6. That was her favorite movie. She went as a prostitute. Her mother let her do that.
That's so funny.
Clayton tells Susie / Hannah 2.0 that he's got a lot of surprises today, and I was hoping that he was gonna give her a jar of ashes to remind her her grandmother's dead. Her grandmother's dead.
Sex work is real work, and also Julia Roberts was a prostitute with a heart, a soul, and a mind, and so bright a bulb she was that billionaire Richard Gere fell in love with her. Sex work is real work. Why am I scared?
I agree.
Why am I so scared?
My store for my tour company shared that building with the hotel. The first scene is in front of my store in the movie. Yeah,
That's awesome.
There were Algerians with machetes ruining all the shots.
It's like the last scene in Scarface, just like climbing in the windows and harpooning.
Part of
Stop, guys. We got another one of these fucking bus owners.
Part of our tour that we had to change the script because they got mad at us is in the script the tour guide would say, there is the hotel where Julia Roberts' character played a prostitute in the film Pretty Woman, and as you can see, it looks like a place where prostitutes live. It was a joke.
Did you write that script?
I probably did. Yeah.
I like it. But I'm glad we spent.
It's run down.
Why you wouldn't just say that's where Pretty Woman was shot, the movie with Julia Roberts?
Because you're entertaining, dude.
Yeah.
You're not just laying out historical facts. That's boring. That's what the competition did. I livened it up with some laughter.
Okay.
He was the West Tim Dillon.
Got it.
Tim Dillon used to do those tours too.
We also used to drive by an area in Beverly Hills and go, that's where Lindsay Lohan lives. No, I'm sorry. That's where she drove her Lexus into a bush high on trucker meth.
Oh, this is fun. This tour, okay.
I wonder if you still have those scripts.
Probably.
That absolute gold.
That's funny.
I'm so glad we laid so much groundwork for this Pretty Woman date.
Right.
Because
I was like, where are we?
here's an edition
Who cares?
of Nick Knows Too Much.
Right.
You talked about the importance of the Pretty Woman date. Let's see how some of the other people who were the recipients of the Pretty Woman
Gotta be
date.
It's got to be a 0.0 batting average.
Becca Kufrin got it.
So we got Matt James took Rachel Kirkconnell. Winner.
She won.
Colton took Kaylin in Singapore.
She almost won.
Hometown didn't win. Corinne flipped the script and took Nick Viall on his hometown. She's a star of the franchise, but did not win. Ari took Becca Kufrin with Rachel Zoe.
She kind of won.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She won the war.
He picked her and then he dumped her.
He picked her, dumped her, and then she became Bachelorette. She became a very sympathetic figure.
Yeah, but then she got with Thomas Pepperoni Tits and went to Bachelor in Paradise. I mean, the war was lost.
Oh, well, now she's a loser.
She had a couple battles
Oh, yeah,
in there
she's
that
a
she won,
loser
but she
again.
lost the war.
Yeah, she came out on top, #1 winner of all this franchise ever. And finally, Rachel Absolo also flipped the script and took Brian Absolo in Switzerland, another winner.
Yeah.
So for those
Here you
people,
go, cuck. Here's a couple blazers.
I think there was one other in Sean Evans' season, which I didn't watch, but of the ones we saw, 40% winning and 60% go to the final two.
Wow.
Well, actually,
Well done.
technically 60% go to the
fucking
winning.
Moneyball over here.
And that concludes Nick Knows Too Much.
Nick knows too much.
That pulling that info was what took me away from the TripAdvisor stuff.
Right.
You can only pick one extra bit.
So, yeah, that's fine. That's all that can be expected of us with this show. So, she tries on a bunch of dresses. Many of them look like they're sewn from, I don't know, dead birds, large extinct birds. I find Susie to be nice and very, very, very boring. I don't care about these two. There's nothing there. And we talked about this as we went along in the season. He is so the opposite of dynamic than when he starts to drill down and get more intimate with the relationships and they start to have to talk to one another, the season was really going to fall off a cliff when it came to that point. That's why I'm conflicted about the episode, because we've had the drama, right? But he's got to be so much of the show.
You have to care about that. What do you call his part of the show? I mean, he's the Bachelor, but there's a word for it.
Protagonist?
Yeah. You have to care about him. I don't care about him at all.
The lead
or something. Yeah. Like at some point, I even cared about like Alabama Hannah, the original Alabama Hannah. She was fun. She was kooky.
Right.
She had that religious nutbag calling her a slut.
Sure.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I don't care about this guy.
Claire, I could watch Claire talk to people all the time. It's hilarious.
Let Claire be the Bachelorette again. She makes my skin crawly.
Okay. So she heads back to the girls. This is always the most brutal part of the Pretty Woman date. It's the show the girls what you got portion of the Pretty Woman date. It's the part where they ask her to show off her red bottoms to the girls who are in hotel rooms in yoga pants. So the dress arrives. She is instructed to dress how he wants her to dress, and she heads to the night date. Yell it.
Night date.
We get more horrifically boring television, in my opinion. We speak of why she's uncomfortable with luxury and why she wants to make her parents proud and how she can smile with or without the dresses. And
that's when this old dead guy comes out to play Lady in Red.
Krista Berg.
Literally. Okay. I have the note. And I don't want to be disrespectful to this guy. I don't want to be too negative, even though I feel like that should
the old dead guy.
I said she gets the rose and they dance in front of another musical artist who's this old fucker with that one song. Who is this guy? Krista Berg?
Yeah, this was actually a pretty big hit.
It's a huge hit.
He wrote a couple songs in the 80s, and he basically still makes money touring on this. I bet he
Yellow Card had a big hit.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Not as big as this one, though. I don't think it was as big as this one.
Okay. Probably a good point.
I bet he was waiting by the phone when he heard there was a girl from bumfuck nowhere who had her favorite color was red, and that some meathead was going to pretend like he paid for a dress that was red.
Right. He was like, "That's perfect. That's perfect for me."
Perfect.
Yeah.
And then Mickey called. Hey, I own your catalog, Chris.
I own everything.
Honestly, this Krista Berg makes Dick Marks look like fucking Miley Cyrus. This was pulling from the bottom of the barrel. Although I do remember his song from many of those like compilation CD things that would air late at night. It's
right.
Like, the best love songs of the 80s. Lady in Red.
100%.
This might have been a soundtrack for a Gene Wilder movie where I think he was trying to bang a girl that he had. Oh, anyway.
All right. So
hold on. I got to finish out this bit with Mickey. So Mickey did call Chris, and he rings the phone. He's like, "What are you doing, bitch?" And Chris says, "Well, I'm retired, Mickey. I'm working part-time at Trader Joe's." And he says, "How'd you like to lose a Hawaiian shirt? I'll get you back on top. Boy, my Mickey sucks.
It's the worst, Mickey. It's so bad. I was thinking as you were doing that, I had the thought, we should talk to him about maybe him sending us the dialogue so that we can read it.
Have you been smoking? It's really the raspiness.
It's very raspy. Sounds like Danny Trejo doing Mickey. All right. So she's going to hometowns, take this date behind a fucking barn or
Danny Glover.
Gothic cathedral, whatever you can find. So she gets the rose. We're moving on. She says it feels like a movie. Yes. It's the Pretty Woman date. All right. So the date card gets dropped. It's a quote from Sigmund Freud, Clayton's favorite psychoanalyst.
I would love to ask him his number 2 favorite psychoanalyst.
He likes Jung, but he's not that big into dreams because he doesn't really have them that often. So anyways, this date will be about exploring their subconscious alongside Clayton. Uh-oh. Pretty brilliant producing, though. This is going to be, it's going to be forced psychoanalyzing on these poor young women in the context of, dating this ogre for 4 weeks. It's going to be the most fruitless psychoanalysis, and he just is going to be staring at them the entire time with an underbite, asking them to be more open.
Producers are obsessed with this season, if you notice. And I want to say, was it who dated the Lisper Tasha. I want to say they did a guy version of this with them too. Yeah, I think it's weird.
It's intrusive.
That's when we learned that Ben had some horrific stuff happening, and we still haven't gotten a wellness check. So if anybody knows Ben,
we got a wellness check sent. He is a fucking rock hard. I mean, this guy is just unbelievable.
you're talking about his body.
His body is perfect. It's crazy.
He's got nothing in his stomach.
No. He does briefly because you need to have some stuff for those gains, but anything else is
this really did stir up some ire on the interwebs about this forced therapy and making these making people share when they're not comfortable with it. And I've never lamented more being kicked out of that 2 Black Girls 1 Rose Facebook group. I know for a fact.
Oh my God!
There is absolutely just fire in that group about this, and I unfortunately I don't have my mole. Please reach out if you are in that group. Maybe I'll do a belated one because I guarantee they hate it.
This is really important. Think about that. If we had access to that group about this, someone needs to fucking get behind enemy lines. Please help us out.
I don't see it that way. I don't consider 2 girls, what's 1 Rose or something like that?
They are not our enemy.
They are not our enemy.
The Facebook group is their enemy.
Okay. Let's be clear about that.
It's not like us. They didn't start their Facebook group. We started ours. They had some fan who doesn't represent them start it.
No, we're huge fans of 2BG.
Those 2.
OR. Okay, so we have got to break down these forced therapy sessions.
Hey, one note on Freud. We often forget. I don't know. People they know his name, but what they don't know is that he kind of developed an understanding of how we come to do things as human beings, right? But what a lot of people don't know is he was high on cocaine for much of him coming up with these theories.
I think a lot of people know that.
They do know that.
A lot of people learned it from Robin Williams in Good Will Hunting. When the other professor comes to meet him, he's teaching class. He's like, "Well, everybody knows Freud did enough coke to kill a small horse or something like that."
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Well, never trust someone who comes up with thoughts high on cocaine. I once talked to a friend all night long about us opening up a fruit stand and how we're going to franchise it. Coke thoughts. You come up with your best thoughts on 3 glasses of Pito.
Well, I
or
mean,
possibly mushrooms.
Different strokes for different folks, you know. Freud came up with a lot of cool shit, like we all want to fuck our mothers when he was, super stoned on coke. And huffing cat piss. He definitely had toxoplasmosis. He also, or famously said, time spent with cats is never wasted, which is a beautiful quote, and a quote I couldn't agree more with. But he was also riddled with syphilis or some kind of horrible disease. It was a confusing man, and evidently his little coke thoughts don't work on the Irish, which Genevieve is not, but she is from Massachusetts, and I just feel like she's like, no, I don't want anything to do with this shit.
Let me tell you something.
That was so long and rambling, and oh my God.
Well, hold on. Well, let's do these in order.
I did learn about the Irish thing from another Matt Damon movie, The Departed. Mm-hmm. You learned a lot about Sigmund Freud through Matt Damon.
Is that right?
Yeah.
They say the Irish are the only ones immune to psychoanalysis.
I'm Irish.
You do an incredible Damon.
Yeah. No, that was Vera Farmiga. Go ahead.
So Gabby goes first, and she looks really cute while she's spilling her guts. Genevieve, which you pointed out is a Massachusetts girl and a bartender. Let me tell you something. Poker face. Girls in Massachusetts, that's why I couldn't live there anymore.
Yeah.
None of them were attracted to me, despite my charm and my good looks.
Well, you have a lot of charm, but metrosexuality.
Even the homely ones play emotional warfare with you and hard to get. No, true. That's why I moved to Los Angeles. They might be a little shallow, but they let you yap a little more, and they let you see their tatas after a 3rd date. But back to Genevieve. She... this was going to be the end for her. You pushed her to this. This is inappropriate in her level and pushing her beyond. So I knew once this happened, she's out of here.
Totally.
She's on her first plane to Logan.
Right. But yeah, I'm totally with her. She's like, what the fuck? I don't give a fuck about this. I'm not doing this shit.
Maybe I haven't been on the boards enough, but I'm surprised Clayton didn't get more shit for this. Like, oh, you're not going to open up? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little bit harsh.
Well, it obviously does not go well. she's on camera. She's next to a guy that she does not like, and she's getting grilled by this fembot Austrian therapist, just trying to pry things out of her. So obviously, it falls on its head. He goes to break up with her. But before we get there, we get a quick line from Teddy. Hopefully, it's going to be a good long conversation and not like bad. And like bad it was. These two have as much chemistry as a 2x4 and a gorgeous bartender from Massachusetts. She essentially is fine with it. She has no regrets, had a blast. Very anticlimactic ending for a young woman who took down Shanae. You know, let's never forget.
Mm-hmm.
And also got the first impression rose.
No,
no, I'm sorry. I thought you said Teddy.
I did. I'm all over the place.
It's all right.
All over the place.
Now, he gets rid of her, and then he does something that I thought was pretty inappropriate here. He walks back in after sending her home, and he says, okay, I sent Genevieve home because she wouldn't cough up the goods about her pain and all that.
Right.
So bring your fucking A game because that limo's still humming out there in the parking lot.
100%. 100%.
Sarah loves therapy.
He essentially says answer carefully because if you don't, you're going to be in a fucking middle seat in the skies. So... who's up next?
Through the New Jersey Turnpike with a cheap glass of wine. Chill.
I love that.
Sarah is up next. The girls are beginning to turn on her for being a manipulative harpy, but don't worry about Sarah. She loves psychotherapy. It allows her an insight into herself and allots her, the weaponry that she needs. We think that she's a little dull, but he finds her to be a very sharp blade, but nowhere near as sharp as this Austrian psychoanalyst. She sees right through her horseshit because she's just not good at it. Guys, thoughts? I'm scared to talk anymore.
Well, first off, as a therapist, a licensed therapist, this woman says she is, you're not supposed to openly give the diagnosis in front of a group of people. She's a lying piece of shit.
Yeah. Well, she was a little vague about it. But
We all knew who she was talking about.
I think she was an assassin hired by Mickey. I would love to see this woman's LinkedIn. I doubt she has any sort of credentials of being a psychoanalyst.
Yeah.
She was meant. Sarah did something to bring on the ire of Mickey, and they're like, we have to take her down despite her giant lead. And it was this woman of somewhat authority telling Clayton that you need to get rid of her.
Yeah,
and he's Clay.
No, I think that's a good take.
Maybe Sarah mentioned her. I'm brain foul.
Yeah, so the producers have set this entire date up, it would seem, to obliterate her. Mm-hmm. They have spurred him on to investigate the vague claims from the therapist at the night date, I believe. I don't know where I am anymore.
Let's go to night date.
Rachel gets pulled first and interrogated and tells Clayton the thing that will piss him off the most. She said, "You cried?" He goes, "What? I didn't fucking cry."
The exact same thing. She could have made up any lie, and he would have been fine with it,
right?
Unless he has to look like a big pussy. He absolutely did not shed a tear.
I don't understand why she's saying things that aren't true. I didn't fucking cry.
Do I look like a crier? Look how big I'm crying.
All right, so she continues to be flamed by all of the other girls, and then we get to the sit-down. The therapy addict herself, the person who knows herself the best, sits down and begins one of the worst attempts at waterworks we've seen in some time. I mean, it's so bad that even Clayton can see that it is fake.
Yeah, I felt the other tears were much more believable earlier, but I think she like literally dried it out.
Yeah, she's doing
poor performance.
Yeah, she's doing this thing where she's like, she's crying so bad, but it's so dry. There's just nothing there. It's crazy.
She earned herself a Razzie with this one.
Yeah, you feel so awkward doing that, I would imagine. So she's obviously heartbroken. Kidding. She gets in the car and is very. Whatever, I'll see you guys in paradise.
She was vengeful.
Vengeful.
Hey, Mickey, Mike, Fleiss, I have an idea for you. Bring Nick Viall back. There's no rules to this anymore. And have him come back under one condition. Whoever he picks, they got to live together with for a year. That'd be some fun TV.
I'm into it.
He's got to go do his podcast. He doesn't show back up for 3 days. That would be fun to watch.
So, are you dating right now? Like what's going on out there? That's him.
Can I choke you?
What?
Come on, you don't like being choked? All right.
I like that. Not even have it be The Bachelor. Just make him move in with Jasmine.
Oh,
Nick and Jazz. Guys, before we move on to talk about the show that is, I know that we've talked about including Nick Vile and some things that could shake up production a little bit, but let's not forget that this is a perfect television show. And if you're watching Clayton Eckhart's season of The Bachelor, then you need to listen to another Bachelor podcast. And I'm not talking about ours. I'm talking about another one called Bachelor Happy Hour, the one and only official Bachelor podcast from Warner Brothers.
No, seriously.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm a little disgusted with myself, but go listen to Bachelor Happy Hour, the best Bachelor recap show there is.
You can tell how much we don't care about this show anymore. Stop listening to us. Go over to the Bachelor Happy Hour. I honestly hate my job.
Guys, the Bachelor Happy Hour is hosted by Becca Kufrin, a Bachelor Nation fan favorite, and every week,
and one of the best pretty women this show's ever seen.
They're going to do so much better.
And one thing I can say for sure about Bachelor Happy Hour, it will forever be free. We won't, so you need to start looking for alternatives.
Yeah, go. They're paying us to advertise their show.
Yeah,
so go over to Bachelor Happy Hour, and what can they got a promo code?
Yeah.
That's why we had to input this pixel. You got that pixel in there?
You have to listen to Bachelor Happy Hour on Apple Podcasts, Amazon.
All right.
You gotta
my phone's... Listen to Bachelor Happy Hour on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, or you can listen ad-free by subscribing to Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts or the Wondery app. So go listen to them.
It's the official Warner Brothers Bachelor recap podcast.
We honestly... I hope we didn't get a hit put out on us by Mickey. Go listen, for real. Quality pod.
That was a great read. That was one of the best reads we've ever done, and it was a long one, so I hope they're happy with it. Anyways, let's get to the next part of the episode, which is...
Night date! Or next day.
No, it's next day.
Next day.
They hop on a buggy. Oh, who gets the day card?
This is Serene, isn't it?
Serene.
I wish all dates now on the date card would be Sigmund Freud quotes. For this one, they could have went with, "We choose not randomly each other. We meet only those who already exist in our subconscious."
You're going to tell me, yeah, that's a pretty cool Coke thought. As far as Coke thoughts go, that's pretty fucking good. That is so beautiful. All right, so they hop on a buggy. It does not apply to these two.
Probably not.
But it's beautiful. So they hop on a buggy and go around the city,
chipmunks,
sampling various nut vendors and dancing in squares. We have another trope of the show, one I actually don't mind, the coincidentally placed cute older people who are actually in love.
Fucking Christ.
I find that very heartwarming.
Will you die soon? Like, you're annoying everybody. Everyone knows what you're doing.
Hey, I know I'm negative today, but you don't need to wish death upon me, okay?
Not you, the old people.
So, guys, once again, this date was absolutely nothing. It was. I honestly think it was 2 minutes.
Oh,
2 minutes of the show.
2 minutes.
And then we get to the night date. What are we doing? It's a pretty building, but I mean, we just get talk of not bringing someone home since high school, and who could care less? Not Becca Kufrin of Bachelor Happy Hour.
No. She cares.
All right. So
for a deeper dissection of this one-on-one, go to Bachelor Happy Hour.
Sorry. Next week, guys, we promise is going to be funny. We've got hometowns. I think this is a good episode, but
we've been funny. We're just glossing over the parts that you said didn't need to be on television.
Right. They don't need to be on television. So they recreate the kiss, one of the most famous pieces of art in Austria, but they really don't. The woman in the kiss is contorted and almost pained to be loved by this human being.
Actually, kind of a good analogy, possibly, for what Serene's going through.
That's actually wow. I didn't think about that.
Mentally
but that's
contorted.
Perfect.
And also, we are back to just the.
Oh my God! How beautiful is that? In an episode about the subconscious. Oh my God!
It's deeper.
Oh my
that's
God,
that's why
that's
we're here to
so
illuminate
deep.
these facts for the audience.
Becca Kufrin's not doing that.
But she's doing other stuff that you'd enjoy.
Yeah, and we're not in the read anymore, so no, we don't need to openly. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, Clayton discusses walls, and he just talks, and it's absolutely impossible to track what he's saying.
Yeah.
But one thing does happen here. Serene does this.
Been successfully.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Is that Wendy? Is that Wendy Walsh?
She's falling in love.
Fuck yeah, Pat.
Hell yeah, that was a great one.
He brought the bomb. Sure, there was an ad in front of
It wasn't an ad. It was that computer voice warning that an explosion was about to happen.
Got it. All
which
right.
I would have been fine to listen to.
That's all right.
Okay, so what a horrible taste I've got in my mouth from this whole.
Serene's better than
fucking
this,
thing.
or maybe I'm giving her too much credit. Or I'm not giving her credit.
Serene for next Bachelor. Pat, who do we got? We have to get to a rose call.
All right. Later, the rose ceremony. Susie and Serene have roses already, so 2 are up for grabs here. And I kind of there was only one surprise. Rach, Gabby, Serene, and Susie are getting the hometowns. Teddy gets the kick the fuck out.
Have we joked about how it could be called or should be called a rose call?
Rose call.
Have we ever talked?
No.
No, that's good though.
How
Are you
have
ready
we
for a
been
rose call?
doing this for so long?
Did someone give you that idea?
No, I was just thinking of it.
And I like it a ton. And then there can be
And shame on you.
I did my
The pun master.
Oh my God.
I'm pretty embarrassed. But now
Should be.
Now we have a way to differentiate between
Roll calls.
date roll calls,
Yeah.
and rose calls.
Right.
I love it. I love it.
All right. So, Teddy is going to be going home. Get me to hometowns. I want to see some broken families. I want to see some broken homes. I want to see some filthy, yucky normies. And also, happy families. And I'm sure we'll get some of those too.
Maybe. I just want to say when Teddy had to walk out, I loved Gabby saying she's so graceful.
Oh,
Did you guys catch
Gabby
that?
Gabby is a queen. We're gonna find out what she did.
Well, I think he bangs her and one of the other girls, and then Gabby talks, tells all the other girls, "Hey, he banged me, and he also banged the other girl."
Why do you think that?
Just because I don't know. That's just what I'm thinking. I just think that's what she did.
Oh,
You're not supposed to kiss and tell. I think that's
what a
what she did.
strange, specifically directed.
Oh, it's not a
piece of-
spoiler either. It's just in my head.
No. I'm just saying. I believe that intuition. It seems pure.
Well,
It's a hot take.
There's something. Yeah, he's using all in the previews. He obviously banged 3 of these ladies.
I don't know. I thought it
2.
was going to be that she had a boyfriend or something, and he found out about it, and Gabby was in trouble for that or something. I don't know.
I'm personally getting caught in the weeds. I like the theory, Pat.
Me too, guys. That's it for us. Jump in the iTunes ratings and reviews. Not this episode. Don't jump in the iTunes ratings and reviews.
I think it was a good episode. I think
I'm-
you'll hear back and you'll be confident.
Yeah, let us know what you thought of
Two
the
in my
episode.
head. Jump in the iTunes ratings and reviews. We'll see you on Facebook. Go to YouTube. Join us there. We're everywhere. We love you guys. We'll see you next week. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Nick, say goodbye.
Lady in red.
Pat,
Oh, I did
say
so much-
goodbye.
Good riddance.